Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. Thanks for dropping in. Hope everybody is doing well. Today I thought I would talk about how I do diamond paintings without getting my hand stuck on the glue. So this is the next project that I am about to start, and I've already got it set up. I have taped it to the table using masking tape. It's just so that it doesn't move while I'm working on it. When you're working on the smaller ones, if you don't tape them down, they tend to move about, which is annoying. So you want to get it set up, you want it straight, and just tape it in place. So this has a clear cover, which you can see. So when I taped it, I made sure to peel the cover back, then taped it. You don't want to tape your clear cover down. So the first thing I do when I start is I remove the cover. It doesn't matter if it's the clear one or if it's the white one. I take the whole cover off, and it doesn't matter how big the diamond painting is either. So once you've done this, you now have a massive sheet of glue which will pick up every hair, dust particle, crumb. If you've got pets, especially cat hairs, dog hairs, they will find their way onto this glue. So the first thing is, I would say, don't open massive sections of glue, because you're just asking for things to stick to it. It might be hairs, as I said, or crumbs. I remember reading about one where a woman was working on her diamond painting. Her young daughter had done a drawing, came to show it and put it down on the table, on the glue. Paper and glue are not a good combination. So the way that I do this is I use what they call release paper. The stuff that I use is double-sided, which means it doesn't matter which way I put it down, it won't stick. Some release paper is shiny on one side and dull on the other. If you put the dull side down, it will stick to the glue. So if you do get release paper and you can see that one side is shiny, one isn't, always make sure that you put the shiny side down. So the way that I do it is I put the last sheet on first, which it will make sense. So what I'm doing is I'm just covering the glue, and I don't want to cover the key because I need that. I don't really need to know the DMC numbers when I'm doing this, so all I need to know is the symbol and the number. So I've already got the drills set up, 16 different colours, and these are the codes for the symbols on the diamond painting. So I don't really need to know what the DMC codes are, so I can afford to cover that. And then all I'm doing is making sure that I'm going high enough at the top to cover, and then I try and get them relatively straight. So what I'm doing is I'm putting down the last section that I'm going to do. Then the next one, overlap it slightly and try and keep it straight. It's just, I like to get the sections sort of rectangular. If you put it at an angle, you find that you start stepping. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the thing is, as long as you put a drill in every square, it's going to be fine at the end. But I just like to try and keep things relatively straight. So what I'm doing here is I'm overlapping slightly so that when I come to work on it, it's easy to pick up. Because if you put them side by side, it's kind of hard to pick them up because they're stuck to the glue. So you can see this one is a smaller section, and the way that I work is I start in the bottom right hand corner, I work my way along, and then I start the next section and work my way along. So I'll always end up in this top left hand corner, and I'm going to do the same again, making sure that I cover all the glue, trying to keep it relatively straight. You always want these overlaps because it just makes it easy to pick up, like that. Now the thing is, when you're working, you want to make the area small enough that when you work you aren't having to stretch, because what happens is you move your hand over and then the edge of your hand, the edge of the palm of your hand ends up sitting on the glue and sticks to it, and it gets really annoying. So what I'm doing is putting them down, and I use tweezers. I know most people think use a pen, but it doesn't matter. If I'm sitting my hand here, it's not on the glue, and I can easily reach that corner, so that is as far as I have to go while my hand is sitting over here. So what I do is I fill this section in. Once this is finished, I lift this up, I set my hand on top of the drills so I'm not sticking to the glue, and again I found that this size for me works, because when my hand is sitting, actually if I just put this underneath as if I've actually done it, so it's not sticky, because there would be drills here. So my hand is sitting on the drills and I can still reach. So that is the furthest that I have to go, and my hand is not sitting on the glue. So that is how I work it. To realign these again. But basically what you're doing, there's an eyelash. I never realised how often you lose eyelashes until I started diamond painting. That one isn't straight, so do it again. It's a bit better. That's just a bit of fluff. And then take this one back out, because this is where I'm going to start. So you can see it's overlapping a lot, but it's just because of the way it works. Sometimes you'll get that, you'll put your sheets down and you'll get to this side and it's like a thin strip. So you can either work it as a thin strip, or you can do it as a bigger section. But if you do it as a bigger section, you're going to start moving your hand about, you're going to stick to the glue. So the best thing to do is just work the small section. The advantage of doing the small sections is you feel as if you're getting something done quicker. It doesn't take as long to fill this up. So the release paper, the thing about this is you can adjust it. So depending on the size of your hands, I may have a further reach than you. So these work fine for me at the size they are. You might find that if you try and reach that far, you're hitting the glue. So all you do is make the sections smaller. So that is basically the answer. Make the sections small enough that when your hand is sitting at the side, you can comfortably reach the opposite side of the glue. If you find that you're moving your hand over, come back, move your sheets further up so the sections are a bit smaller, and work it like that. Then once you've done a section, you can set your hand on it and work the next section and keep going. Now I start in the bottom right and I finish in top left. You'll find that people do it all different ways. It's really up to you how you want to work it. But that is the way that I do it. I use release paper. If you use the original paper that comes, or the cover that comes with the diamond painting, what you can do is cut it into strips. So when you're working, the whole thing is covered. You cut out a strip that you think, okay, I can reach from here to there, so I'll cut a strip. So you cut up so far, cut across, and then you fill that in, and then you cut the next one, fill that in, cut that in, and then eventually you end up doing the whole thing. I just find release paper a lot more convenient, a lot less hassle. When you're cutting strips, trying to cut them straight can be a pain, especially with the clear stuff. I really don't like the clear cover. If you are going to cut the clear cover, put tape, like masking tape, and strips, make a grid and cut where the masking tape is, because if you don't do that and you try and cut the clear stuff, it tends to just rip and goes whichever way it wants. So this clear stuff, when you cut it, so say I was using the original and I decided, okay, I'll set my hand here, I can reach maybe this far, so I'll cut a strip maybe a bit shorter than that just to make sure. So I would peel it back, I would cut it, I think that's okay. There's another here. This is how easily, and we don't have pets, this is how easily hairs can appear. So I would peel that back, maybe fold it over, and then I would work the section. You can always fold it back if you haven't finished it. But you find that if you accidentally pull it too hard, you can see it rips and it doesn't go straight, so you end up with that sort of thing. So what you can do so it doesn't do that is if you get some masking tape, and this is the stuff that you get from the DIY stores if you're going to paint and you you're covering like the edges of things, just masking tape. So what you would do is make a grid. I'll just randomly do it just to let you see. So there's a strip there. You would obviously be taking your time a bit more than me, and maybe another one there. Again, this is if you're not using these sheets that I'm using. And then you would mark it in grids. So something like that. It's really up to you how big you make the sections. So this is just a quick example and why you do it. So as you saw when I cut that section and then pulled it, it went like that. So what you do is if you put the masking tape on top of the cover, when you cut it along the masking tape, and then that stops the clear stuff from ripping. So if I say that was a section that I was going to do, just cut along. There's actually nothing to cut at this part because when I peeled it off, this bit tore away. But it would normally be the masking tape and the cover. So it's sliding around because it isn't stuck to the glue. But this is really just to give you an idea. So when you do that and use the tape, it stops this clear stuff from ripping all over the place. So it's a lot easier to cut into sections. So that's the basic idea. You might see pictures sometimes when people show works in progress and they've got tape, and you think, why are they doing that? That's the reason. It's to stop this clear stuff from just ripping any old way. So anyway, I don't use that, so that's going in the bin. And the way that I'll work it is, I'll start here, I'll do this section, And then the other thing is, what I do while I'm working on it is I use table placemats. I was going to say cover minders, and I put them over the top of the whole thing, so I only see the section I'm working on. It's just the way that I like to work. It's just a bit of extra protection against dust and hair and other stuff. So if I'm working on this, I would normally have these here, and probably put that one there. So when I'm working, this is the only area of glue, and I would normally have my drills would be sitting here. Not really thought about it, but I'll sort of get on my bits and pieces because I'm going to start this one. So this is my case that I keep my drills in. I've got my tray, and open this up. These are the colours, but this one only has 16, so I only have 16 of these. I've got colour in them. The rest are empty. I do diamond paintings that have quite a lot of colours, so the most that I've done so far is 90. So I've actually got 2 of these cases pre-labelled, so I don't need to label them every time. So 16. One colour has more than a Tic Tac box can hold, so there's actually 17 that I use. But as far as I'm concerned, it's number 16, so this is the last one here. Move it over slightly there. So colour number 1, 2, 3, that's another double, so that's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I set this up here, and I have a light pad. This is what this is. I'll turn it on just to let you see the difference. So that's my light pad on. Makes it a lot easier to see the symbols. And then the first symbol in the bottom right hand corner is a B. So a B is number 12, which is this one. So then what I would do is pour my drills in here, and I use the old sort of green standard tray. I use that to hold the Tic Tac box that I'm using, so I remember what it is. So you see in the case there's a space, so I always know what colour I'm on. I can see I've got 11, 13, that must be 12. So 12 is B, so I will start in that bottom right hand corner. And the way that I work it is I'll look for all of the B's in this area and I'll put them all in. And then the way that I tend to do it, I mean everybody's different, it doesn't matter really how you do it as long as you fill in all the squares. So I would do the B's, and then the next one along I've got a B and a B, so they would be filled up, and then it's a 3, so then I'd be looking for a 3, which is actually number 3 up here. I would do that, and I would do all the 3s, and then I just keep going until the whole section is filled up. Once that's done, I would turn the cover, put it over this, and I would open up the next section. So that goes to roughly there, and I would move this up. So this would be completed. I would put the cover over the top, and then I would open this section and I would do the same thing. I just look at the bottom right hand corner, choose that one. Some people might look at it and say, oh, I've got a lot of 9s there, I'll do the 9s first. It's really up to you, it doesn't matter. As long as they all get filled in, it'll be fine. So that's how I do it. So you can see if I'm working this, I use tweezers, you may use a pen, doesn't matter. I'm setting the edge of my hand on this section that has no glue, and I can reach everywhere. So fill that up. Then I would put the cover over. You don't have to do it, you could set your hand on it. So then use that as a rest, and then you just fill in the whole thing. Next section, and that's the way I do it. So I don't get my hand sticking to the glue. As I said, it gets a bit annoying after a while. So that's the way that I do it. I just thought I would share it for people who are new to diamond painting and they're getting fed up with their hands sticking to the glue and they're thinking, what other options are there? This is one. So there you go, diamond painting with tweezers. It can be done. As I said, I doubt if I would ever have got onto using tweezers if it hadn't been for the fact that I was doing a diamond painting that had so many ABs. And it was after a while I realised that I was actually doing it without thinking. And then I thought, hang on a minute, I could use these for just normal drills. So I started doing that. And I did the whole thing. As I said, it's a diamond painting called Winter Wonderland. It is pretty big, so it was a lot of practice, but as they say, practice makes perfect. And I found that I really don't have any problems using the tweezers. So for people who are using pens and they're trying to find the perfect pen, the perfect wax, which wax wins, I did a video about that as well. But they try to find alternatives because they get fed up having to refill their pen. Maybe it's time to try tweezers. As I said, you could practice just in a tray. You don't have to use it on a diamond painting. Just try picking up, putting down, picking up, putting down. Main thing is, don't press too hard. That's what I was doing. I know that's what I was doing. I was squeezing the tweezers. Don't. If you squeeze the tweezers and anything goes out of line, it just pings and disappears. Take your time, nice and gentle, pick it up, move it into a different line in the tray, move them back and forward, a little bit of practice. I think you will find that it actually isn't as bad as you think or as you thought. That's certainly been the case for me. So let me know if you do try tweezers and how you go on with them. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit the notification button. If you do that, you may catch me on YouTube Live. You can drop in, have a bit of a chit chat. I'm always interested in talking to other diamond painters from around the world. We don't always talk about diamond painting, we talk about pretty much anything. I am originally from Scotland, as you can probably tell from the accent, and I now live in Copenhagen, Denmark. So I sometimes talk about things like that, the differences of living in Scotland compared to Denmark. And I'm interested in talking to people about where they live in the world and finding out about traditions and just different things. For example, in Denmark, you can legally walk in and buy a beer when you are 16, and you can walk out the shop and drink it as you walk down the street. You can't do that in America. So that's just one example. So yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, as I said, please subscribe, and in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.